Hello, welcome to Pub Football. Miles and Jimmy here to go through transfers today. We're going to go through the clubs that we think have had the best windows, the clubs we think have had the worst windows. We're also going to have a look at the best individual signings of the summer in the Premier League so far. The Premier League's back on Saturday. It's 2 days away. Unbelievable. We have the shortest pre-season. We might have another co-host who's just coming in to say hello at the moment today with the dog, who's decided not to sit on his bed and wants to get involved. So you're going to just have to bear with us with that. Remember to like and subscribe to the page, and of course follow us on Instagram if you'd like to, at pub_football. We post some little photos up there as much as we can. Anyway, let's crack on, Jim.
Yes.
Best clubs windows so far, because there's been a few I think have had fantastic windows.
Yep.
We might as well start with the obvious one, which is Chelsea,
Yep.
who have signed everybody.
Chelsea has signed well in all positions that needed strengthening so far, haven't they? And they've bought high-profile footballers as well. Havertz, amazing. Chilwell, decent signing. Werner, Ziyech, they've done very, very well. So, yeah, they've done everything they needed to do, and they look strong this year.
I think they're title challengers, and I think if they aren't, you have to look at Lampard and think, actually, is he the right man? Because you can't spend £200 million and not just buy a random group of players, buy players in every position on the pitch. They've bought a centre-back,
Yep.
they've bought a left-back, they've bought central midfielders, they've bought centre-forwards, they've bought wingers, they've bought everybody. The only player they're missing, which some would think is the most important signing, is a goalkeeper, but they've been...
Reportedly, there's a goalie on the way.
They've been
so,
linked with Pope. They've been linked with. Have they been linked with Onana? I believe they have from Ajax, and now they've been linked with the
goalie from Rennes,
Rennes.
who's on the way. Senegalese international, sounds quite good.
So they will strengthen in that position as well. They have to be title challengers, but all in all, you have to say fantastic window.
Yeah, he's got his business done really early compared to most of the other teams in the league, and they are seriously going to challenge this year, aren't they?
Another team that I think's had a good window because they've strengthened the one position that almost led to them not coming up is Leeds,
Yes,
where they
yes.
needed a centre forward capable of playing in the Premier League. Patrick Bamford says that he's good enough, but he's had a few chances and he's not. Not to say that he won't have a fantastic season in Bielsa's system, but the Rodrigo signing from Valencia, a current Spain international, is a major coup.
It is, and yeah, it's the Bielsa effect, isn't it? We always thought he's going to get a striker somewhere, isn't he? And he's
Do you
brought
think
in
they get someone
absolute...
that high profile?
No, I didn't, but I'm delighted they have, because he's a top quality striker, and if he can hit the ground running, he's going to have a fantastic season.
I thought it was going to be some random player from Argentina.
Yeah, Chile or something, who no one's ever heard
That
of.
would have
won't
been a
score.
diamond,
Well,
a
probably.
bit like Richarlison coming over to Watford.
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
thinking something along those lines, but Rodrigo is superb.
Definitely, and they're also in the running for Draxler from PSG at the moment,
That'd
which
be
would be
incredible.
a massive coup. So
That'd be incredible.
Fair play, Leeds.
Everton. Before yesterday, we would have said, all right window. But then all of a sudden, yesterday they announced James and Decore.
Yep.
They've got Allen in from Napoli as well in the midfield. They look like a very strong side. However, they have just strengthened the positions that they've strengthened every year for the last 4 or 5 seasons that haven't worked out. They still need a centre forward. So far, you'd say a good window, but I think we would have said this about Everton quite a few summers over the last sort of 10 years, and it's never really worked.
Yeah, I think James is a massive coup. Obviously, the
Yeah, but is
connection
it?
with
Is it though?
it is
Because
for
he's been-
Everton.
No,
it really is.
no. Well, okay. You say it is for Everton, but is Everton the best club that would take James Rodriguez right now? Is that why he's there? Because none of the elite clubs will touch him.
I think
So he's been
some
terrible
would.
for Real
I
Madrid.
think some
He
would.
didn't work out at Bayern Munich. There's attitude problems that we've heard about. He's not performed on the pitch to back up an attitude problem. Is he a good signing, or could he be an absolute flop?
I think it could go either way, couldn't it? If he starts the season brilliantly, scoring goals, being involved in everything, he could be the difference between Everton finishing close to European football or finishing 10th because he hasn't shown up all season. So it's a gamble.
I just feel like he's still riding off a hype that was generated in one World Cup.
Yeah, and that
which
was
does
ages
happen.
ago, yeah.
2014, this is 6 years ago. A World Cup where he got the Golden Boot, where he was absolutely superb, scored that brilliant goal on the volley on the turn.
did.
But since then he's not done a lot, and he's still living off that hype. And is he really the player that people think he is?
Don't get me wrong, he's technically a very, very good footballer. He's one of these. It reminds me a bit of Ozil. He's just not quite. He doesn't get himself involved in the game enough to cause too much of a impact, which is a bit annoying, but he's got all the ability in the world to be a very, very good player for Everton, but we'll see.
Doucouré again, for
Good sign.
me. Yeah, you see, again, I worry because he was awful last year.
Doesn't matter.
I know
Good
he
sign.
wanted to leave.
Yeah.
I know he had his head turned, but sometimes that can change a player's career. Look at Christian Eriksen, who went from being brilliant to terrible at Spurs, and then he's done nothing for Inter Milan, who want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Doucouré was awful in a team that got relegated last season. Does he have confidence? Is he, if he has a bad week the first week, is he going to struggle? This time last year, I would have said great signing. But again, this is the problem for me with Everton over the last 5 years, is that I'm not sure they're getting it right. I'm not sure if they're buying the players with the confidence to actually improve the side.
I think the Doucouré signing is a great signing. I really do.
We'll see.
He's Premier League proven. He's a box-to-box midfielder, which they're probably missing. And next to Alan, who's just going to kick
Alan's
everyone.
the one who I think
he's going to be different
signing.
class. Yeah, he is just going to sit there at the base of the midfield, kick people, disrupt play, get the ball, give it to the best players. That's what you need.
The team that I do think's had a very good window's Newcastle. They've
Yes.
bought players they need. They've finally got a proven Premier League goal scorer to play up front. So something Newcastle haven't had for as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
might as well say since Shearer. Michael Owen was sort of past it, but
Yeah.
he did score a few goals. But Joelinton didn't work at all. Dwight Gale's never quite done it in the Premier League for Newcastle. You could say he had a good couple of seasons for Palace, but never consistently. Carroll is there because he needs a place to go with his injury problems and he fancied moving home. I think he was effective last season, but again, not enough goals. Callum Wilson, for me, although he wasn't great last year, but that was a collective at Bournemouth. And again, just like Doucouré might not work out. He might be in a slump that is hard
Yeah,
to come back
true.
from. But
Or
I
the
just
new
think
start might give him a massive boost, and he'll start the season banging in the goals for Newcastle. I think he will.
he's what Newcastle need up front. I think they've improved massively on their left back. Getting Jamal Lewis in is
That's
a
a coup.
great
That's
signing.
a massive coup.
Are you going to use the word coup?
I'm
more
going to
times?
keep going with it because
Yeah.
that's a coup, especially when clubs like Liverpool were circling around him and he's gone to Newcastle.
I thought he'd signed for
Yeah.
Liverpool. I had it in my head, and I was
That's
like,
a
"What?"
huge
Yeah.
signing and a massive upgrade from Dummett. So,
Huge.
yes.
It's an upgrade from Danny Rose as well,
Yeah.
who was there at the end of last season. Interesting to see where Rose lands now, because you would think that Newcastle's probably out of the question.
He's going to get a big payday abroad somewhere and carry on.
I hope he
doing
does.
that,
He's
yeah.
had a good career. He's done a lot. They've also bought in
Ryan
Ryan
Fraser,
Fraser
good
on a
signing.
free. Great signing on a free. An upgrade on Matt Ritchie. So now you think about a front four for Newcastle, or Ritchie can play wing back as well, so can Jamal Lewis.
Yeah.
But you think of a front four of Callum Wilson leading the line. You've got Almiron in the hole in the 10 position,
Yeah.
so Maximan on one side and Ryan Fraser on another side. All of a sudden, Newcastle look exciting, and Newcastle have been, the fans don't like that Steve Bruce hasn't been an exciting manager, but Newcastle look an exciting team.
Yeah, and there's an English kind of core there, which is nice to see for once. So, I'm very, very impressed by Steve Bruce's transfer business so far this summer. And yeah, hopefully I get a few more numbers through the door and they have a really good season.
Gus, get on your bed. On your bed. Come on. On your bed. On your bed. Gus, get on your bed. I brought that in here so that you wouldn't be annoying. Sit. A team you made me put in is Arsenal. I think they've had a good summer. Do I think they've had a great summer? Do I think they've improved everywhere they need to improve to be this all-conquering team that seems to be touted in the radio at the moment? I don't think they're as good as people are making. I know I'm biased as a Spurs fan, but I look at the signings, and Willian, good signing. In decline though, not the Willian of a few years ago. Still going to add something to your front line. Still better than Nicola Pepe, but this could be Pepe's second season.
Yeah.
He might take off. You never
Definitely,
know.
yeah.
I look at Saliba coming in properly now. Signed last year and then went back out on loan. Gabriel, yes, he did very well in France last season. However, unproven Premier League defender. How many times have we seen someone come in as a centre-back who's done well in France, or done well in Holland, or done well in a foreign league, and absolutely balls it up in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Lots of times that could happen. I think your best signing is getting Ceballos on loan again, because he's now got used to the Premier League. He looked like a baller by the end of the season.
Definitely. I think we've had a decent summer. As you say, we got two very, very unproven young centre halves, but especially Gabriel, I think that's a real good signing. Obviously, he's been touted with bigger teams towards the back end of the negotiations, but I think he could have a really good season. Willian will just bring a bit of experience, maybe a bit of a voice to a young dressing room, to be honest, which we might be missing. And yeah, I'm impressed with what we've done. And if we could get another midfielder as well as Sabas, I think we're going to have a good season.
Right, let's move on to some individual players.
Yes.
And let's just go straight for signing of the summer. Who do you think so far, as of the time recording this, which is on Thursday afternoon, is your Premier League signing of the summer so far?
I think Callum Wilson would be the signing of the season.
Really?
Yeah, I think if he can hit the ground running, he will be an absolute hero up at Tyneside if he can score goals. And especially with the other signs they've put in, I think it could be perfect.
Right, so I'm going between two, and they're not forward players. I'm going two centre-halves. I look at the signings that Chelsea and Man City have done. Man City are unlucky, actually, that we haven't put them in our good clubs, because I think between Nathan Ake and Ferran Torres, they've done some very good work. But I could see at the end of next season either Thiago Silva or Nathan Ake turning out to be the signing of the summer. Thiago Silva, I think, is so important for Chelsea because they shipped goals last year. They looked like they had no leader at the back.
Definitely.
Now they do. They have a leader at centre half. Thiago Silva might not have that bit of pace he's had before. Again, he's a player coming in from France. He's played in Italy and France.
He's got a wealth of experience, so that's the difference, isn't it?
It might not work out, but I think that he's that good, whereas Gabriel's slightly untested. But Thiago Silva, for me, could be the signing of the summer. If Chelsea don't concede a lot of goals, probably because they get a different goalkeeper in, but it could be down to Thiago Silva's leadership. And the same at Man City. Man City, the difference between Man City and Liverpool last year, yeah, there were a few points, but it was defence. Man City's defence struggled, and because the centre-backs weren't good enough. The goalkeeper's fantastic. Aymeric Laporte is great, but he was injured for a long period of the season, which coincided with quite a few losses. And I hate this idea that people are touting everywhere that Nathan Ake is a left-sided centre-back, so they won't be able to play together. We wouldn't be saying this about a right-footed player. Think of some of the best centre-back partnerships over the years. Adams and Keown, Adams and Campbell, Vidic and Ferdinand, Terry and Carvalho. Harry Maguire plays on the left-hand side. The best left-sided centre-back in the world is Virgil van Dijk. He's right-footed. Nathan Ake could play on the right-hand side of that back two. Absolutely fine. He's played in midfield before. He can play off, but he could play in both ways. He could be the difference for Man City next season. Plus, what it does mean as well is when Laporte gets injured, they have a backup on the left-hand side, and they have a proper centre-back in there who I think is fantastic.
No, I don't agree. You're right. I think
You
especially.
don't agree?
Well, no, sorry, I do agree. I think Thiago Silva is the one. If he can get that back line sorted, and as you say, not shipping goals, they are right in the mixer to win the league.
All right, that's it for Pub Football today. Expect a few more videos over the next couple of days. We're about to do a lot of filming. Very much looking forward to it. Remember again to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow our Instagram page at pub_football, and I'm going to be disciplining the dog. Cheers.
Cheers.